somebody out there in some shorts.
Daggum pajama pants. Now get up, put some freaking clothes on your feet. Girl's going to court.
Oh, that's not as bad as you.
I'm sure the judge would tell her about it.
Yeah.
Right, so she's with them.
Oh, well, when I was in high school years ago, one of my friends got a speeding ticket and he had to go in front of Judge Foster. And he was a lifeguard at the city pool in the summertime. He's probably about 18. He had flip flops on and swim trunks and a tank top. Judge Foster told him to go home, put some better clothes on, and go back to sleep. I don't know if they still like that. But, I guess he would. Somebody had time to look over the plans and all, so. Yeah, I'll do it. Good.
Is that a motion?
Yeah. Gerald, I'll second that. Yes, Dana, if you want to go ahead and get started.
Cheryl's got it all, well, county general's Everybody's coming in paying, most of them are paying the whole thing, I think they don't wanna go through security twice.
I think it's quite interesting, I'm playing both.
And it's what, September 11th and 11th, September 17th at 11 a.m. for me.
You guys send me a text to make sure. Okay, that helps me out
I
basically.
think it'd be, isn't it a Tuesday?
Try to take care of it.
Is it a Tuesday?
I don't know.
I think it is.
Yes,
Think
it's
it'll be
Tuesday.
here
But we'll be
already.
here anyway, hopefully.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
No, it's Yes, we'll have to have lunch.
Yeah, that's right. Jeff was on there. How's it going?
I do remember it.
What account do we have? Tammy Robinson.
I thought they were.
Is that John Frankridge? Yeah.
What's that?
Tammy Robinson.
I think we borrowed it from liability, transferred it to county general.
That was the county
So-
general representative.
Is it at 11,480? Yeah, here it's at the. Is that the?
Let's say so.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
Thank you. How are you, Mr. Perry?
I'm doing much better now. I just want to start off by kind of giving you guys an
That's
update.
adopted.
Yeah, just kind of, I want to keep you guys updated on what's going on in the county.
Okay.
As you can tell by this line here, we're doing a much better job on uniform. Got one huge outlier there where we missed one, but that happens, so we're not perfect. That probably won't be in the sales ratio study anyway. But basically, I took the sales ratio study information, the official state study, and did a couple of graphs on it, charts. It's kind of interesting. Back in 2011, we had approximately 92 sales. The average was 78,750. In 2012, we had 88 sales. The average was 96,150. Which means between 11 and 12, even though everybody was saying the market was declining, I found it interesting that there was only 4 less sales, but yet the average was up 18,000. What does that mean? Not sure. You can read into it, but just thought it was interesting. Now through July of 2013, we've already had 77 sales, and the average is 73,575. So now it's showing a decline. It's just interesting because even though this average was higher, there seemed to be a lot of houses that sold for over $100,000, which think would surprise a lot of people. Just wanted to kind of share
So
those
what's the-
statistics with you.
The bottom, like.
The bottom represents the year,
Okay.
that represents, or the month, I mean, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Starting with the 10 would be, 0 to 10 would be January, 10 to 20 would be February. I got to still work out how to change that on a graph.
okay.
It's just, that's what that represents. The bottom line represents the months, the top line represents the percentages of the assessed value versus the sales price. Okay? The next thing I want to talk to you about is the farmland committee. Every year I'm to have a farm meeting, and none of the people that have been appointed in the past want to participate. So I need you guys to appoint 3 people to the farming committee that will be a part of it. I think it's very important because not 13 payable 14, not 14 payable 15, but in the year 15 payable 16, this process is going to be done differently on farmland. And
What's going to be different?
they're going to increase how they do the assessed values on it. Now, it's not going to be to market, but it will be different, and it's going to increase the tax base. So you guys need to know, and of course, the farmers need to know this is going to change their tax base.
One of those,
To be honest, I just think the fact that it was not paying them anything to show up, and they kind of felt like it was, and that's the one part you got, again, personally, I think you should compensate them something, but that's just my personal opinion. But anyway, we do need to do that, and I do need to hold a farm meeting, so I'm not sure names, but we do need to do that as soon as we can.
I know last week we talked about it, and I think we had, 3 names were suggested. Jeff was going to check with some people too, I
Okay.
think.
As long as we get 3, but I'm gonna ask Josh Rager to speak also, because he has talked to the gentleman from the Department of Revenue, and he has a much better understanding of the effects it's gonna be on productivity and value, and how it's gonna change from a low productivity versus a higher productivity, and this whole thing's gonna be based on a median level. So if you're down here, you're gonna get pushed up. If you're up here, you're gonna get pushed down. But some people
So
are
some people's taxes would come down that far.
probably, no, probably not, because the PI is so much lower here. It's based on a PI index average of 111, I believe. Basically, you're gonna see the tax bill in some cases for the farmer. That's kind of my take on it, but again, we're still 2 years away from that. Okay. The other thing is my board review, I need to get them reappointed. I would like for them to be on the same schedule I am on my reappointment, if I could do that. At any time, if anybody from the Board of Commissioners decides to take the class and want to be on that, then at that point, you can dismiss somebody from the board and replace them. And that's just my suggestion. I think it's been running very smooth, and I think the people I have on there are doing an excellent job.
How long were they appointed on there?
Well, they were appointed only for a year, but I'd like to see them appointed in my term ends 5/16 of 2016. I'd like to see them on the same schedule. If not, that's just my suggestion. Okay. And then also, give you today my preliminary budget for 14. I'll give you my preliminary budget. I just kind of want to it's that time of the year again already.
Yeah.
And I just kind of wanted to, I sat down and did some homework, I tracked where I'm at. If anybody wants to know where I'm at with expenses of anything, feel free to come down to the office. I've got it all on my computer, and I can show you where I stand on it. Okay? Now I got 2 issues that I need to, that are, I think, important to address. One of them is, I know somebody was in here last week concerned about exemptions. Just to explain, what I'm going to do is ensure that in the future, at least, I'm going to try at least 4 times a year at different times to publish all exemptions and explanation of those exemptions, so that I can attempt to get it out there to people so that they know. The biggest confusion is we have to have a cutoff date, because if we don't have a cutoff date, people can just we're continually doing things backwards, going back in time, and we just can't do that. We can't continue to do that. And I think, I just want to, from my experience, I just want people to understand, you can read the statutes, and any layperson can have an understanding and interpretation, as do attorneys. But there are certain words written in the statutes that cause a lot of confusion. And I think that one word that causes more confusion than anything is the word shall. Because shall has three different meanings. Shall can mean must, shall can mean should, and shall can mean may. Okay? Now, I'm not an attorney, but I just looked this up in the law.com, got the definitions from it. That was my resource. This is where I think things get confused and open for interpretation. That's why I tell people, be careful telling people what the state statutes say. Because one word can change the whole meaning and how it's used in that sentence. So that's where I think sometimes people get confused. The main issue I have right now, and the main challenge I have right now, is building permits. I had a situation where basically a gentleman told me that building permits in this county was a joke. I know there's an ordinance that says we can fine at $250. The permits are free. I've had two situations now where I found a house in the country, no building permit. I went to put it on the books. We notified them. One person either didn't get their notification but didn't see it in the paper. The house they're saying is not finished. It was not finished. And another gentleman did get a building permit, but again, when we sent him the notice, he failed to do the proper procedure. That was good that I just need to fine tune that part to make sure people understand we need to know when it's completed. Because I don't look, it's like the one guy said, all you had to do was look at the windows. Well, I don't look at people's windows. And I just don't. But anyway, we need to talk about this.
So do you feel like both of the situations are still working on the house, or do you think one of them's done?
I think they were both not finished. But there becomes a question and I have to take a look at this, and I'm gonna have to talk to Patrick. What is the definition of finished? And I don't know if we want to use the word finished, or is it being occupied? Because if they're living there, I mean, if you don't have some doorknobs on there, well, technically you're not finished. You don't have trim on, you're technically not finished. But I think there reaches a point where if the people are in there, then it should be considered finished, and that's the language that needs to be used. And of course, we base everything on January 1st. We do not do partial assessments here in this county. I have not done partial assessments. If it's condition of January 1st. But a couple of different things. The reason why this is so important, I understand people don't understand why they need to get a building permit. But ultimately what happens is everybody else that is following the rules are paying more because they're not following the rules. Now, I don't know how everybody at this table feels about that, but I want to pay my fair share. I think everybody else wants to pay their fair share. The fact that people have been, in the past, has gotten away, and I think it's a substantial number, guys. Not just houses, but pole barns, garages, and this stuff is being built, and there's no consequences for people not to do it. And this would help the tax base when we get this up, which would, in essence, drop tax rate. So I think it's very, very important to get this stuff on. Personally, I think $250 is too cheap for a fine. I think it needs to be substantially more. I think there needs to be something in there about it being for, if they started in 11, we have to at some point say it's got to be complete within this year, or you need to reapply for a permit, or if they didn't get a permit, they need to be fined multiple years. In this case, it shouldn't take 2 years to build a house. I don't think. I mean, that seems a little excessive to me, to allow that person not to. And I may have to change my way of thinking of, if after 1 year's time, then I'll do a partial reassessment or proration, so that they're not, I may have to change my own procedure.
Gary, gentleman asked me about these storage buildings.
I mean, when you're saying storage building like sheds,
But on steel.
yeah, that's not real estate. That's personal property. Do we still want to know about it? Sure. Because, again, when we're going out there and looking at property and we see things, we can't always tell that. But we want to make a notation on the card. And the thing about these different reasons why you get building permits, like a deck, a porch, fence, whatever it is, sometimes that may not even add value, even though people hope that when they're making improvements add value. That isn't always the case in the market. So, all I can say is,
But if I understand correct, one of the gentlemen failed to fill out the permit.
that's correct.
And are we gonna find him?
I'm going to start fining, and that's what I need to talk to Patrick about the procedures, and I need to start fining people that we're discovering aren't getting building permits. I gotta start somewhere.
That's right.
And I think this is a good starting point. The question becomes now is how many years did he go without the building permit? And I want to talk to Patrick about how to proceed. Now, what I need to talk also to Patrick about is the process for me to do it. If there's anything I need to do, but I think what's important is I need to be involved in the process just from the tracking of the information. And from my understanding, if in fact we do find people, that money will go to the county general fund, is my understanding. Is that correct, John, or do you know?
Well, I'm assuming anything like that would go to county general.
And again, I don't know because I've never, but I do
Yeah,
need
it
to.
would go to the corporate fund if there's a
Okay.
fine assessed.
And like I said, I'm not looking to make more work for Patrick. However, I will be involved as much as Patrick needs me to be to start making sure that people are following the rules. I don't know whether we just, I mean, first of all, I think we need to put more teeth into it, more people to feel, the need to say, look, if I don't, because at $250, somebody builds a new house and it's been out there for 3 years. What's $250? I mean, they got away with maybe not paying a tax bill that would have been about $3,000, maybe $2,000, $4,000 a year. Then everybody else had to pay. And again, my whole thing is I'm just looking to be fair, consistent, and uniform with everything I do. And that's what I'm looking for. I know that's a lot of information for you guys to absorb and to bite around with, and I'm just looking for a way to proceed with it. Like I said, I will talk to Patrick, but again, you're going to need to do it.
What do you think, $500?
I'm not sure. Again, if you're running the risk of paying $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 in real estate taxes, and your fine is $500, does $500 hurt you? The part that bothered me more than anything is the gentleman kind of chuckled about it and said it was a joke. And I just didn't take that very well. Because again, we have a procedure and I need to refine it. And I need to make sure people understand they need to notify us when it's complete, And by complete, I mean, when are you in there? And that's just something I need to work on. I want to go back to that reappointment of board review. I do need that to happen as soon as possible. So I'm not sure if you guys want to have a discussion on that. And my presence or without my presence, it's fine. We do need to do that.
Remind me, the 3 people that's on the Rager.
Douglas, and Stafford. Yeah, STA for marketing.
Now, on that farm line, commission, Gary, could the commissioner be on
I've never read just exactly if you have to have any certain qualifications.
I don't know if it would really, I like Jeff's apartment, I'm not sure what I could,
I
again.
don't want on there. I don't have time.
But like I said, it's
One
just
day a year.
a one meeting. Usually a
Or
very
just one
short
more.
meeting, but again, with everything changing with the farm, there could be people showing up. I would hope so, because again, even though it's not changing immediately, down the road, it is gonna change and it is,
What kind of time frame are you wanting to have this farm?
I should have had it a month ago.
So, in the past,
4 weeks ago would have been nice.
I've seen Rollo, and he said, he would like to get more involved in things since he's maybe slowing down a little bit. But I don't know if that's be something he'd be interested in. We can maybe ask hospital.
Yeah, that's fine. And like I said, I just need this, and again, if you guys, it's up to you guys whether you compensate them or not, but we do need by statute to have this meeting. And we need to notify the public whether or not they show up is up to them. Okay. Do you guys have any other questions for me? Okay.
Thank you, Gary.
You got
So this looks like a property, am I reading that right, is it a property number? Is it-
No.
No.
DCA. You were good for the first 3. Your PIN number is a legal description, so this is like your township, your section, and then this is you're divided into 4 sections, you have 100, 200, 300, 400.
This one's,
Which,
she's, let's have the dots.
oh, this one?
Yeah, she had sales at the bottom, sales for.
Oh.
What would it be, 3 numbers on the back?
Yeah, it's usually,
008.
Yeah, that would be it.
That's what I think it could be. Can you, is there? Can you pull that for me when you get down to your office?
Okay.
Have somebody do that, but I'd like to have a little,
what do you want?
I don't know, maybe the last 2 years, tax bills. Or is that the treasurer's?
No, I've got a screen I can print off that will show the history of the taxes, so I can, but, you know, again, the ultimate thing with taxes, I always try to tell people, be careful. Public, I understand the public understands that they look at one thing with taxes, but this is where the word exemption comes in, because sometimes people's exemptions will offset the neighbor's taxes and stuff. But usually, if you see the taxes go up, it's because something happened. Usually, that's property is reassessed, or there's something happened with the exemptions. But this is a P-TEL county, so there's really no reason for that rate to jump because it isn't. But I'll be happy to get that for you. Okay?
Thanks a lot, Gary.
You bet. Okay. Joe? If you have any questions, just come.
Today,
Hey, everything's going pretty well today. At least we don't have rain today. We're back out working on the lawn too.
thanks for progress.
Yeah.
They know anything about their old chip in the past.
All right. I'll go with Cheryl's an expert. All right.
It sounded good.
I think Cheryl's looking for a job.
Yeah.
Yeah. I made one.
I don't have a whole lot to ask or say, I guess, this morning, other than I was going to request that we talk for a few minutes in the closed session about hiring an employee.
What that car, right?
We're gonna,
You know?
Car, $500.
Good luck.
Sun Industries.
The, expedition.
That was a.
Yeah, what
how'd the other 3 cars go?
We made $2,350 off of 3 of them. That's pretty good. A little higher than what I thought we'd get.
You said what, 2300?
We're gonna make a motion to go closed session, discuss personnel issue. Of course, this rain's probably.
It's pretty harsh.
And they didn't follow the
I
procedures.
mean, we're mowing every day.
Yeah.
Seem to be growing as fast as,
Had I not been
as
in
fast
This
as we're
rain
knocking
is,
it down.
I think today's gonna be the last day for a while, I think.
I think so.
I think it's supposed to cool down, it's supposed to be 50s tonight.
Some of the places where there's ditches and steep banks, it's kind of hard to get when it's so wet, because the steep banks, obviously you slide too much, right, so it's kind of dangerous there. And when the places where it's not ditched as well, or it stays wet a lot, you know, you start creating a lot of big ruts, so, you know, it's kind of hard in some of those areas, but, yeah, it seems to be growing faster than what we can mow it, and 2 of our temporary guys, their time limits are coming up here in a couple weeks, so, we're gonna have to probably, with the third guy that we hired that has a
Start
little time
later,
left, you know, he'll be able to still mow there, but we might have to take some of our normal, full-time employees to start to mow the rest of the year too, because this year's been a good mowing year.
Do you have a manual, uniform traffic control devices? I was wondering about these, our road signs, our names. North Avenue, Dry Ridge Road, you know those,
Yeah, that has nothing to do with the manual of uniform traffic.
that's kinda what I thought.
That's all 911, isn't it,
Yeah,
Sheriff?
Keith
Yes.
Davis told me to ask you that.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I would have to.
In other words, he's trying to track your.
Well, I knew that was always a topic of discussion in the past about who's supposed to take care of those and put them up and maintain them and everything else. Yeah, the way I understand it, that's not part of traffic control, that's basically road
It's
directions,
directions, yeah.
911 directions, yeah.
Okay, I was just curious what size lettering, or that's what I'm planning on making some signs, and I'm not gonna make a bunch of signs that are not legit.
What,
I got a list.
I could try to find out as far as the standards possibly, you know, I don't know what agency would govern that, or what the actual standard is, but I can try to find out.
They just changed that last year, the year before, because cities been going through and redoing all theirs, because they
Yeah.
had big letters.
We've got some big letters and some small letters throughout the county.
Did you talk with Jess? I mean, he should have everything that's standard. I mean, our last time I ordered it, the lady said.
I went down there, and there's at least 3 different size rolls of stuff down there.
At the city.
So, at the city.
But in Jess's garage, what is he, did you talk to?
Jess's garage,
I mean,
not been
he's-
to Jess's garage.
Well, I mean, we're storing everything there,
Are we?
yes,
Well, he didn't bring me no roll of material.
yeah, everything,
So he's supposed to have a roll of material.
well, yeah, he's got probably a couple, 2 or 3 rows.
Okay.
I think what, you know, a lot of times we take stuff down at the city and it seems to be used up,
Mhm.
and we don't get our.
Yeah.
so.
I'm still looking for that tax bill by your
Okay.
mom, so
All right,
I'll start
thanks.
looking for you.
All right.
Thank you, buddy.
Okay. Joe, I got to ask you one question. On New Columbia Road, as you're going through New Columbia, there used to be signs at both ends says reduce speeds on the head, and the signs are gone. And the state's attorney told us that we can't write tickets up there because the traffic change, the speed changes, and without those signs saying that the speed limit's going down, we can't enforce it.
I'm not 100% sure where you're talking about on New Columbia.
it's going in and out in Ted, man. I think somebody actually just put those signs up. I don't know if there's a legal basis for them to be there.
Alex said we can't write the tickets in the speed zones that are specified unless we get a sign up that says reduce speed zone ahead.
Is there a posted speed limit in the?
Yeah.
I know on the north end there is.
It drops from 55 to
35.
35.
something like that.
55 is there?
That's what we just put those up there because you have to have a certain amount of driveways, a certain distance. I mean, I just remember this from years back.
It used to be like 500 feet per decrease. I'm trying to, one of them was before you get to State Ridge Road, and the other one was
It was
somewhere around where the old school used to be.
There's- I want to investigate that. Is it something that this pole and everything is gone, or is there still poles up there? Or?
I was told that several years ago, a mower hit it, knocked it down, and Larry just picked it up, took it back, and put it back.
Pole and all? Okay. I'll investigate that.
As far as where to put them, we probably need to get with Mr. Forms, because he can tell us as far as the traffic code, what it says.
Mr. Who?
Tim Forms,
Assistant.
Assistant State's Attorney. Make sure we get them in the right places.
That should be in the MUTCD. I can look that up probably.
John, I know what you're talking about, so many, is that both sides of
Here's
the road, or just one?
GNC, that's where I order all the signs. and
Well, see, they got
material.
all
That's the same place
I'm
the
not
city
sure.
Metropolis orders.
See, on the
They-
right, when
And
you're
her
going
name's
in.
Carla,
this
her
one,
contact, her phone
kind of
number,
sparse.
might be where you all order stuff too.
I'd say, I think
GNC,
count both, I probably think count
Yeah,
both.
Yeah, that's the one that shot up.
and every time I order it, she says that's the
Well,
current
that's
state
hey, but I
laws,
remember
what I'm
one
ordering,
time
so
there,
it should be the right size.
there. Somebody actually.
The city orders
put
through there,
signs up on
too,
the
so
road.
I always tell them it's the same material the city's order.
See,
You can call and talk to her, find out
same
what we
issue
got.
out there,
But Jess has it up in his garage
Somebody
instead
did
of
that.
down in the courthouse.
Well, they did do that.
You need
He
his
would
number.
come back to
Yes.
Massac and supply down Belgrade Road. because it didn't have set speed.
We've been trying to get
They
the
talked
city
to
to
Larry.
make these signs for 2 or 3 months and it just,
You know, it just really didn't qualify, and he scrunched down to 35. There was one section that
Think about order
didn't
our own machine.
qualify, you know,
Yeah.
that one section.
you want to do, we can order our own machine, we have Joe Miller downstairs.
Four
That's
circles
what I'm
up,
thinking.
just past old East House.
Yeah.
Some machine
Probably
posts.
would be,
Huh?
beside down to there.
The nicest one, I mean, Keith got us some pricing on the machines.
Issue.
The real nice one costs around $2,100.
I know what he's talking about.
It does everything, comes on a stand, just put the material in there, put it in, and it prints it right out. The cheaper one was around $1,500.
I mean, usually most people, well, no, some people are.
Y'all trying to work the
like
schools?
me, when you go through
Yep,
them,
started that.
you just, you know, we just slow down.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you, Joe.
Let's almost fail overboard.
Well, yeah.
Marcia, I went with her upstairs yesterday and looked at the leak.
Oh, did you? That's,
She said he was gonna take us around and show us. Wanna do that first, or you want,
Keenan.
or we'll go look at the leak? Shelley, you wanna go with us, take a few pictures? Sure. Give you something big?
Find Marshall the key.
I got it.
My wife even said something about that homemade.
There's several of them around.
I think Deputy Bullock did this. I think he just picked out one, might have been 1/4 of the county, sectioned it off. This is from the west side. This is Thompson. It's gonna be west of North Avenue.
It's amazing, I guess.
Are these down? Is this
Yeah.
over?
They're gone. Basically, there's nothing here to post.
Wish we could purchase it. Yeah, it's just unbelievable. I know, like, over where I live, almost 75%.
Still, I mean, is he putting some up in that now, or has it been all since he?
It's been a
It's
while,
been
he's
a
been
while.
after me to get it done.
It's just, he had been working some of the city, but we just couldn't get him picked up. So Jeff's gonna try to go get some made up, and maybe get him to put some on.
There's 6 on county at the time, but.
I just got a list.
Usually can.
Maybe it might be the whole county.
I think we got more work we can get done right now anyhow.
It's like mailboxes. You just have to be there at the right time to catch them. That's how it's done.
Yeah.
Unless you put them on pole higher than a baseball bat will reach.
Yeah.
Or stand, like stand on the bed of a pickup truck.
I don't know.
Sandy put a, should give us to you last week, I forgot, this is through the end of July, so we brought in housing prisoners, fees, and bond fund.
What you're saying there, 114,000, that could be the general fund.
In 7 months. Today, counts at 49, I leave here, I go to Grant County, pick up another 50, pick up 21 out of county Christmas.
I think you got a bunch of them.
Most of them were Johnson.
Most of them, yeah.
There's something, he said he wrote 10 down the other day.
It was so bad Friday, but instead of taking them to Johnson County for court, we had to bring the state's attorney down here, because we had 8 to do here. We didn't have to use no van to take them back and forth, so we said, "I'll just do court here."
Huh. You know, bad apple.
This last month had been bad. The concert in Hardin County didn't help me.
Did they ever decide what that explosion was? What was that explosion a couple days ago, that little house? Huh?
DuPont.
DuPont, did they ever decide what that was?
The last thing I thought I read somewhere was natural gas.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't read the whole
It was in
story.
the newspaper yesterday, I mean, the whole house exploded, it said, like 12 houses around there had damages, so just one person got killed. They said it blew out windows and like garage doors, people's houses around it.
What happened to Richard Krueger's house? Yeah, he was on vacation.
I know. Thank goodness.
So it was gonna be here Friday morning.
Friday at 11:30. You all got a chance to see the new car that, or not new car, but the used car they purchased, got the new paint job on there.
Is it gray?
It's black.
Both of them? You got two, didn't you?
One's white, one's black.
The black one, you all had that, what's it called, like, not plastic coating, but, yeah, but it's pretty darn sharp, I see it today. Looks good.
It's a good one.
Yeah. It's
That turned out a lot better than we anticipated. There was one thing I wanted to do in the executive session, how best personnel.
Make a motion to go into closed session.
Just needed that stop, it was there was something blocking the back windshield.
Yeah.
It was a big screen TV that they'd stole.
Crazy how crooks get caught, you know, just.
Is it possible some of these have been paid and you don't know about it? Like in 60 days, I'm just curious.
Unless they were paid yesterday.
She been swamped over here, or do you know?
She paid some yesterday. I thought she was pretty much caught, I know she was caught up through July, is what she said.
I'm just curious.
Wasn't very many.
Cause the plumb master, it's the same amount.
The same
Well,
type as yesterday, so that's
okay.
pretty well.
You gonna try to come over Friday, 11:30?
That's all I've got, guys.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, you're up.
No, I just didn't know if you guys were gonna have any other discussion or anything, so I just
No,
stand
we're
by and just.
Sign bills.
John, you know where McAfee lived?
Who?
McAfee,
Ah, sort of.
Bynum
Mhm.
Street, that's quite fast thing. That's where the house was. Well, Dale, he
Is
said,
that where Ella, Fitzpatrick Annabelle lived? Or was it on,
oh, wait a minute, I think it may have been McAfee's dad.
okay,
There, but that old video store,
okay.
there on, maybe two out, but, well, Dale, he come up and he said, well, I'll just help you. I said, all right. Well, one of those fools ran knocked the gas